It was a rough day hitchhiking. Really rough. One person always has to ruin it for everyone, don't they? Before I continue this story, don't forget to subscribe, as I need to hit 100 subscribers to get my logo. Yeah, thanks. Now, back to it. I'm gonna talk to you about something I didn't think I would really talk to you guys about, but yesterday I had my first hitchhiking experience that felt a little unsafe and just uncomfortable. Yet again, here I am hitchhiking because I don't really have much choice, and also I think now I can be a little bit more discerning about what I put up with, I guess. I was picked up by a guy who just made me feel so uncomfortable. He seemed fine when I first got in the car, and when I was first chatting with him, he seemed like a cool dude. So I guess I'll take this time, since I've just had a lovely ride, to kind of say a couple of tips that I've learned, well, my long extended history of a couple months of hitchhiking. Always eat. Like, remember to eat and stay hydrated, because I often find that I get so obsessed with trying to get a ride that I forget to just take a sip of water or even take a breather in between rides, because you're always talking to people. You're basically there to keep them company, so you're just kind of tired mentally afterwards. So remember to kind of take care of yourself in between stops. And then continued on to tell me that he wanted to see me naked, and then asked if he could drive naked, which I told him I was uncomfortable with. And then went on to tell me about how he used to be a stripper and would basically have sex with people in front of big groups for money. And I think in general, if the things he had said, someone else who seemed genuine, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but the vibes I got from him just made me feel so uncomfortable. Right, after a night of moping about bad decisions, I am out exploring. I'm in Greymouth, which is one of the bigger towns on the west coast, and I was pretty excited to come over here, but it's dead. It's a ghost town. There's nobody here. Like, I was in a spot that was very clearly I was going to the west coast, and he was going nowhere near that. And that's my fault for thinking, oh, I'll just get a little bit further down the road. But still in general, like, why was he stopping? And that's kind of the question that's going through my mind constantly now. And yeah, he kept asking me to come with him to this naked commune and was complimenting me in very creepy ways. So during my last hitchhiking ride to the Greymouth, I was riding with a lady whose husband was actually one of the 2 survivors of the catastrophe that happened about 10 years back. An explosion in one of the coal mines killed everyone off except for these 2 guys. And I'm just looking now at the boards of everything, and it looks like Greymouth has had just a lot of tragedies, flooding, all kinds. So it's an old coal mining town, but now the mining has all since left, yeah, it's more of an adventure town now. It's beautiful though. I was left in this field that there was nothing around. It was close to nothing, and I just felt so sick. My stomach hurt from just being scared, and just not wanting to continue. I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to be somewhere safe, but I couldn't. And I think that's a hard thing with hitchhiking, because if you do get dropped off like in the middle of nowhere, you have no safety net. Like, I just wanted to curl up in a ball and just be safe, and I couldn't. I had to keep going, which was really difficult. Right after being dropped off, I was harassed by a couple different cars just yelling things at me, and after an experience where you just don't feel safe, then getting harassed on the road, it just adds to it. You know, my stomach all day, that was midday, my stomach now is still just turning. There's pushing your limits in the sense of when you're afraid of something, you should try and keep pushing through, but it's different when it's a danger and not a fear. You know, like, nothing bad happened, and maybe nothing bad would have ever happened, but also what if it had? I think it was a bit of a wake-up call for me. The West Coast is a beautiful place. It's very out of the way, let's say, and normally quiet to begin with, but especially now, there's just not that many people coming to the West Coast, and so it's dead. Which means I'm a bit stuck here if I don't want to be hitchhiking. There's no buses going, because why would there be? No one needs them, and typically Kiwis drive themselves places. So right now I'm just talking to random strangers on the street, trying to get my confidence back up in New Zealand, so that potentially I have the courage to try and hitchhike again. I guess I'm seeing the not so nice side of hitchhiking now, which sucks because I really loved it to begin with. But anyway, I'm gonna try and get some sleep now. I've got the hostel to myself because there's not so many people traveling right now. Winter's coming. So I'm gonna get some sleep and try and just settle myself, because that was it was intense, you know. Sorry, Mom. As always. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of being stranded on the West Coast, the only option being the thing that has scared me the past couple of days. But yeah, I guess I just have to get a little bit more cautious and discerning with people, and maybe just go with families. We'll see. Tune in next week when I get to plant lots of trees. They're huge, and look at all. They smell a bit funny, but look at that. I get to plant native bush, which is awesome. And someone trusts me with a weed whacker. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.